Let's start with knowing definition of descriptive approach in linguistics.
What's the definition of descriptive approach?
Descriptive is an approach to grammar language concerned with the use of language by native speaker without reference to norms or correctness.
So, when linguists say that they are descriptivists, what they mean is that they just describe how language is used, that there are no rights and wrongs associated with language use. There is only what people do with language.
There's value in understanding why speakers of a certain language
use the grammatical constructions that they do.
even if their grammar doesn't fit with the rules.
Well, a descriptive person, like a linguist, might say, well, that's interesting. They used a double negative. Let's see if we can isolate the context in which this construction is most likely to be used. Or let's see if we can identify which speakers are most likely to use this construction. So it's a much more descriptive approach. They just want to figure out what's going on rather than prescribe how language should be used.
Let's find out the principles of descriptive approach.
The descriptive takes the principle that the language usage vary according to speakers.
You can't gauge how the audience is reacting at this moment like you can with an actual person. When you speak, you have body language, you have if someone's looking away, you have if someone puts their head down, if they take out their phone, right? You have eye contact, you have the person with the ability to respond, and you can have a dialogue with them. All those things are great with speaking. With writing, it's not there. You prepare this argument and then you send it out into the world and it has to stand on its own. So when we write, we want to make sure our writing is as strong as possible.
Now let's figure it out about the differences between prescriptive and descriptive. And here's the table. When it comes to communicating with each other, grammar plays a role of the utmost importance. Without grammar, we would be unable to construct intelligible sentences. However, as an active part of any language, grammar is bound to evolve with time, and not everyone experiences this change in the same way.
Let's find out. Which side are you?
Okay.
Imagine you are queuing in a supermarket, and you notice a sign above the till that reads 10 items or less instead of fewer, which, as English grammar books will tell you, should be applied for quantifiable or countable objects. Prescriptivists think there's only one right way to speak and write, like following strict rules. Long ago, when writing became important, powerful people's language became the standard. Descriptivists, on the other hand, just describe how people use language without saying what's right or wrong. They believe language changes naturally, and what matters most is if you can understand each other. So, breaking grammar rules isn't a big deal to them, it's just how language evolves.
So, at its core, descriptivism acknowledges the right of every language and language variety to exist, that all languages and dialects, they demonstrate their own uniquenesses and complexities, and they all therefore exist on a level playing field. Again, it is perfectly natural for all of us as human beings to harbor these deep-held attitudes and beliefs, maybe things about language that just rub us the wrong way, but it is really important that we put these prejudices aside when we are performing linguistic analysis or just kind of working in the linguistics classroom, because in this way we can help ensure a more objective approach to the study of language.
But that doesn't mean their language is wrong. I'm making grammatical errors all the time when I'm speaking here. I'm taking out words that should be there. I'm speaking in incomplete sentences. So did Shakespeare's characters on stage. That doesn't mean it's necessarily wrong. It's serving a different purpose. If it's artistic or it's spoken, I'm much more on the descriptive side.
Here's the example case for descriptive approach.
If a person say he and me were arguing about the presentation.
A A descriptive grammarian will explain the sentence as grammatical, while a prescriptive grammarian will say this sentence as incorrect since it has violated the standard of grammar rules with incorrect usage of me with he.
I think that's all from me in Tide of Editing BTW.